Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, text 7. Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitaha sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tadha manapamanayoho. So Krishna here, he's talking about a yoga practitioner who has reached the topmost stage. So Jitatmanaha, one who has conquered the mind. Because we had been seeing how a yoga rudha means the stage where the mind is conquered. And in the previous two verses, we had seen how the mind is the best friend if it is conquered, if it is controlled, and is the worst enemy if it is uncontrolled. So here, Krishna talks about a person who has controlled his mind. Jitatmanaha, and that person becomes prashantasya, peaceful, attain tranquility. And that person, because he has paramatma samahitaha, he has controlled his mind. Paramatma samahitaha means he has attained connection with Paramatma or Krishna in the heart. He follows the dictation of Krishna in the heart, Paramatma, not the mind. Therefore, he is Jitatmanaha, he controls the mind. He conquered the mind and therefore he is tranquil. He attained tranquility. And as a result, what will happen? Sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tadha manapamanayoho. He becomes immune or transcendental to Sita Ushna Sukha Dukkha Tadha Mana Apamanayoho. Sita and Ushna means heat and cold. Sita means cold, Ushna means heat, like the summer and winter seasons. It affects on our bodily level. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, it's so cold. It puts us into so much of bodily distress. And Sukha Dukkha is happiness and distress on a mental level. The Sukha we feel, the same incident, we may feel Sukha, but somebody else will feel Dukkha. Like a cricket match, if our team wins or whoever we are following, they win, we'll be in Sukha, but the other team, the people who are following the other team will be in Dukkha. So based on our mind's attachment, it gets into Sukha and Dukkha. For no reason, suddenly somebody feels distressed. Mental disease, depression. This is dukkha. Even though bodily wise there is no dukkha, but there is mental disease. So, based on how we regulate our mind, we can be happy or distressed. We can be very strong or we can be very weak in our willpower. So, sukha dukkha means on the mental platform. And mana apamana. Mana apamana means respect and disrespect. Sometimes we get respected. Oh, such a great person, such a great strategist. Oh, because of him or her, this thing happened. Great respect. Sometimes apamana. Oh, what a disastrous thing he has done, she has done. What a foolish thing. Or sometimes we are negativity is spread. Apamana. So it works on our ego level. somebody boasts us, our ego becomes, oh, see how I am great. And suddenly somebody defames us, we become so upset. Our ego becomes shrinkened. So, Sitoshna on the bodily level, Sukha Dukkha on the mental level, Mana Apamana on the egoistic level. So, this person who has attained connection with Paramatma, he transcends all these kinds of dualities. On the normal level, everybody is faced with these dualities. Today, somebody is happy, tomorrow, somebody is distressed. This is winter is exiting. Now, eventually, the heat will catch up, summer will come. Or today we are praised as a great person. Tomorrow somebody may defame us. So these are all dualities. That person who has attained connection with Paramatma transcends all these dualities because he is acting on the spiritual platform. This bodily thing is none. This got nothing to do with me. This bodily tribulations or dualities has got. This is completely based on my body, subtle body and gross body, because of previous karma. यद्भाव्यं तद्भवतु भगवन् पूर्वकर्माणुरूपम् एतत् प्राध्यं मम बहुमतं जन्म जन्मान्तरेऽपि त्वत्पादाम्भोरुहयुगगता निश्चला भक्तिरस्तु. This is the prayer of Kulashekara Acharya. So he says, Yad bhavyam tad bhavatu, whatever is supposed to happen according to my karma, let it happen. Purva karmanu rupam. But my prayer, etat pradhyam, is Janma Janmantarepi, even if I have to take birth after birth, even if you don't take me back home, back to Godhead. But what I need? Tvat padam bhoruha yugagata nischala bhakti rastu. Let there be nischala bhakti to your lotus feet. That is my prayer. Because once you are connected to the lotus feet of Krishna, Paramatma Samahitaha, when you are guided by the dictation of Krishna, when you see Krishna in everything, even in distress, then you won't feel affected by it. Like a man was walking on the street, and then suddenly somebody came and pushed him. And then he fell into the valley next to the road and bruised all over. And he was taken to the hospital and band-aids everywhere. And the family members come and they're suffering so much. They see the condition of this man who might have died. And the man himself is smiling and laughing, looking at these family members. And the man who pushed him is next to him, next to his bed. And his family members are looking at this man who pushed him and coming and shouting at him. And this man, the victim, he's saying, no, 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 don't do that. He saved my life. And the family members are saying, what do you mean he saved your life? He says, no, actually, there was a big vehicle, a drunken driver coming from behind. He was about to hit me. And this man, he saved my life. He just, in time, he pushed me into the valley. It was safe. It was full of bushes. I was hardly, there's no, just hardly any bruise. I'll recover in a few days. So we come to this world, material world, away from God's kingdom, risking getting hit by these drunken drivers. Meaning, materialistic people, we are always being hit, either being defamed or somebody is always scheming to bring us down, competing with us at jobs, at our social circles. Even in family, there is so much of friction for financial boons left by the ancestors. So we are always being hit. But one who is in touch with Krishna, one who has taken shelter of Krishna, Krishna always protects. And sometimes the protection can mean he can handle us a little roughly to make us withstand that pressure. Or he can push us into a safety. That might seem like we are suffering, but that is for our protection. So the devotee sees the hand of Krishna even in suffering. Like yesterday, we were fasting through the day. And like that, whenever I fast for festival, sometimes people ask, "Oh, are you not having lunch?" So I say no. Somehow somebody hears who are not able to understand. Hey, what are you doing all this? These are all old rituals. You don't have to, you have to enjoy life. You don't have to become so restrictive, regulated, and you're just suffering, thinking you will be happy in the future. So actually, I was hearing a lecture of Prabhupada yesterday. So he was answering that this austerity we consider as suffering, but actually it's not suffering. If we take austerity for Krishna as regulated in scriptures, why is it not suffering? You're not eating, is it not suffering? So Prabhupada gives a brilliant analogy. He says, say you have a disease and you go to the doctor and he prescribes you. I in fact have a practical experience. It's a general medicine also these days. The doctor prescribes you fasting, or he says you should not eat grains, you should not eat this, you should not eat that. But by doing that, you are getting cured. So, following the prescription of the doctor, even though momentarily, temporarily, it may appear like suffering, it is actually a source of happiness because you're going to get cured and going to enjoy life again. But if you went on without regulation, you would be more diseased, isn't it? So the suffering given, so-called suffering given by the scriptures or the prescription of an acharya coming from disciplic succession, it's not actually suffering. It is tapo divyam putraka, Rishabhadeva says. These are all divine austerities that one needs to perform for purifying our existence. Nayam deho deha bhajam ruloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujamye tapodivyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhyet yasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam. Rishabhadeva says, in this particular form of life, I am dehaha, deha bhajam, of all those who have acquired material bodies, this human body is meant for tapodivyam. Other lower bodies, they cannot do that. Why? By doing tapodivyam, our sattvam becomes shuddhyet. Just like the doctor prescribing fasting for purifying the disease in the body. Yasmat, by which Brahma Saukhyam tu Anantam. We can enjoy unlimited Brahma Saukhyam, the bliss of connection with Krishna, Krishna consciousness. So the person who is established contact with Krishna, he is seeing Krishna's hand. He is hearing the dictation of Krishna, whether directly or through the medium of the spiritual master. He knows he is secure, even though he may be undergoing some tribulation for time being. It is for his own good. Because without the sanction of Krishna, it would not have happened. If I have surrendered to Krishna and if Krishna is sanctioning the so called suffering, so be it. Krishna has a higher purpose. Like Haridas Thakur, such a pure devotee of the Lord, Namacharya, chanting practically 24 hours a day. He was ordered to be caned in 22 marketplaces. More than physical injury, it is so much of mental insult, egoistic insult. Somebody is publicly being insulted like that. Sitoshna Sukha Dukha Sukha Mahana Pamana, all these things, he was bearing all these things with a smile. He did not even flinch, he did not even feel, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was protecting him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu later discloses to him, I could have immediately killed the people who were hurting you, but you were praying for them that these people are ignorant, my Lord, please excuse them. And I was taking the hits. I could not let you suffer. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows him his own back, which has the marks of this, the cane that was being hit. Similarly, Gaurakishore Das Babaji, he appeared to be like a kind of madman. You know, villagers and small children, they would come and they would see he is an old man here wandering around. And sometimes to make fun, they would pelt stones at him. And this Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he saw it as Krishna playing with him. He would say, hey, Krishna, why are you being naughty? Stop throwing stones. So, like that. Prahlad Maharaj, he was thinking everything is being arranged by Krishna. If Krishna is throwing me off the cliff, so be it. If Krishna decides to protect me, so be it. So everything the devotee sees as the divine arrangement. Narayana para sarve na kutaschana bibhyati. When Chitraketu was cursed, Chitraketu, after he became perfect, he became a Gandharva. He was flying through one place where Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati were there along with other great sages. But Mother Parvati was sitting on the lap of Lord Shiva, and Chitraketu, this in the form of Gandharva, he happened to laugh at it, not with a sense of ridicule, but with a sense that, oh, how wonderful Lord Shiva is. He's not agitated, he's completely transcendental to all material things like this. But that came out, appeared to be like as if he is making fun of it. So Mother Parvati took offense to it. And then she cursed him to fall down and become a demon who does not know how to talk, how to act, how to respect. And it's a great tragedy, isn't it? Like Parikshit Maharaj being cursed to die in 7 days, or you are in such an exalted position of a Gandharva and you are suddenly cursed to become a demon. It's such a tragedy, isn't it? But then Chitraketu accepted it as the will of the Lord. He came down and started to offer his prayers and started to apologize. And Mother Parvati was stunned at his stability and equipoiseness. And then Lord Shiva told her, this is the nature of a pure devotee. Narayana Para. Narayana Para means who considers Narayana as Para, highest. Always connected with Narayana. So Narayana Para Sarve Nakutaschana Bibhyati. In all circumstances, na bibhyati, na kutaschana bibhyati. He does not get affected. Swarga, apavarga, narakeshu api tulyartha darshanaha. Whether he goes to Swarga or Naraka, he considers that as same. For him, external reality, physical reality, he is in heaven or in hell, it does not matter for him. Api tulyartha darshanaha. So there was one conversation with Prabhupada. So one man was asking to test. So Swamiji, suddenly if bomb falls on us and we die, what will you be thinking at that time when the bomb is falling? And Prabhupada said, I will think that Krishna has come in the form of the bomb because Krishna is also death. Prabhupada is completely unmoved. So the Vaishnava or a perfectly realized person is beyond these dualities. But the Vaishnava does feel the distress. Why does he feel the distress? Looking at those who are in this material world suffering, for them he feels the distress. That is why Vaishnava is paradukha dukhi. He is distressed to see others in distress. That is his qualification. For himself, there is no difficulty. He is quite all right. He is under the protection of Krishna. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranasyati. Krishna promises, my devotee never gets vanquished. So he has no danger personally. There is Krishna, he is confident. But he is unhappy for the Jagais and Madhais. The Jagai and Madhai represents the sinful living entities. And so he takes all kinds of risks, puts himself in all kinds of dangers to deliver these Jagais and Madhais. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he said, my Lord, I don't have any distress because the moment there is some kind of inconvenience, Twadvirya Gayana Mahamruta Magna Chittaha, the moment I think about you, I think about your glories, I chant your holy names, I plunge into the ocean of Mahamruta nectar, Mahamruta Magna Chittaha. But because my concern is, even though I don't have any personal problem, soche tato vimukha chetasa indriyardha maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudhan. I see at these people who are suffering, carrying heavy burden of maya, thinking that that is going to bring them happiness. I look at these people and I become very unhappy. So Prabhupada was giving the lecture. He told a contrast between two kinds of personalities. One, a material person undergoing distress, and a spiritual person. So this material person example he gave of C.R. Das from Calcutta. He died in 1925. Before that, he was earning a lot of money as an attorney. But because he joined Gandhi movement, there was a resolution that the Congress resolution that the prominent members of the Congress, they should not cooperate with the government, which means he should not practice law in the British court because there is no justice. That was Gandhi's order. So don't go there. So he had to give up. So he had no income. The Congress was giving him 500 rupees, pocket expenses. What is that? Nothing for him. He was such a rich man. He was earning like 100 times more than that. So he could not bear that inconvenience. And eventually he died out of that agony. But Prabhupada was giving another contrast. A devotee like Rupa Goswami, he also did the same thing. He was a minister in charge of Nawab Hussain Shah government. And he decided, what is this nonsense ministership? Let me join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, preach this Krishna consciousness. So he did. Tyaktva aturnam asesha mandala patishrinim. He gave up all such big circles, big position, mandalapati. He gave it up. But he did not die. He did not undergo any agony, even though he was wearing kaupina kantashritau. But he was plunged in ocean of happiness. Gopi bhava rasamrutabdhi lahari kallola magna muhu. 24 hours engaged in Krishna consciousness, in the bhava of how gopis were serving Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada's conclusion was in that lecture, if you once become merged in the nectarian ocean of Krishna consciousness, the prime activity of which is chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, you will always remain happy. There is no doubt about that. And he can easily overcome, or for him, there is no feeling of these dualities. Sitoshna Sukha Dukkham Mana Tada Manapamana Yoho. Because he's in touch with Krishna and he's always feeling the dictation and presence of Krishna. Let's stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.